Reported by Barbara MacLeod.
Take a girl's life, add a colorful family, a sprinkle of craziness, a large dollop of humor, and after 40 years, throw a new ambition into the mix.
Good girl.
What you get is the improbable creation of a comic storyteller.
Now, my father, let me give you a visual on that guy. 6'4", feature creature, big bushy eyebrows. Yeah, got him. Big nose, big pointy chin, long arms, tall, skinny guy, you know. Most of his discipline was done with his eyebrows and his wingspan.
Cindy Pierce, The Last Laugh. A story about destiny, finding it, going for it. You're either funny or you're not. There's no learning it. There's no secret recipe.
He was always saying, girls, there are scoundrels out there. Bad men. They're lurking in parked cars and behind bushes. They're gonna jump out. Some of them wear trench coats. And they're gonna jump out and open up their trench coats and show you their... But we knew just what he meant. We were like, okay. So we moved to New Hampshire when I was 6, and he brought his Fear of Scoundrel training program with us to New Hampshire. Now, the thing about New Hampshire is you only see people wearing trench coats maybe once or twice a year. Maybe 1 or 2 people in the whole state are wearing a trench coat on a rainy day. But when I saw those people, yeah, I know about you. I just gave them the look, ready for them to give me the flash.
Cindy Pierce is funny, as many people are beginning to discover. At age 40, after careers as a ski coach, a teacher, a stay-at-home mom, and an innkeeper, Cindy is taking her talent for telling stories about her life to the stage.
This is my last flyer. I'm doing a one-woman show at Jimmy Tingle's.
This is the story about her journey.
To who? I tell some honest things about being a woman for 40 years.
Yeah. What does it take for a woman in midlife to achieve the dream of becoming a successful comic?
Look at these.
Finding the Doorbell is a 90-minute, one-woman show, Cindy Pierce's own coming-of-age story, an honest, graphic description of navigating life as a woman.
Welcome. Thank you so much. The topics I cover are everyone's topics. It's about me, but it's not. It's about everyone. And by laughing at myself, I'm helping people look at themselves and laugh at themselves. Some women like flowers or a massage. I know one woman who likes it when her husband takes the car and fills the gas tank.
But who exactly does Cindy Pierce think she is?
Charges her right up.
Trying to break into show business with no experience.
Get her! Everyone get her!
While juggling a full-time job as an innkeeper and raising 3 little kids with her husband. It all started at a reunion of Cindy's old ski racing buddies a couple of years ago.
She launched into this comic story that just had 30 women in the room in hysterics. After that, I said, you should take your show on the road. You can't hide this in the New Hampshire woods any longer.
Nestled in the woods just outside Hanover, New Hampshire, sits Pierce's Inn, an offbeat, unpretentious place that Cindy's parents bought back in 1971. It is also the source of much of her material.
My parents chose to leave what so many people are trying to achieve. Financial security, social status, this whole scene, that they left it, kept the friendships that were meaningful, and moved here, and all their savings gone, and that they were so happy. That was cool.
As the youngest of 7, life at the inn proved adventurous and enlightening for Cindy.
With my parents, no swearing, no personal body talk. You held tight, you just knew you could go this far with my mom and nowhere with my dad. Like, there was none of that. But with the siblings, everything flew, and they told me unbelievable things at a young age, and it was like I was living the 2 worlds. I recognized by age 11, this is not normal. I started taking notes on the whole scene.
In her early years, Cindy elevated the term tomboy to a new level. She excelled at ski racing, soccer, and played shortstop on the boys' baseball team.
I looked just like a boy, that late development. I wore a baseball cap, I wore boys' clothes. Looked so much like a boy that I got kicked out of girls' bathrooms all the time. Even in my own school. I'd be heading in there to use the bathroom. The custodian, hey, get out of there. That's a girl's room. Well, okay.
At the University of New Hampshire, Cindy played sports and studied theater. She didn't party, but was the life of the party. Classmates were drawn to her magnetic personality and her ability to poke fun at herself.
I made a decision pretty early. I think about 21, I'm like, do I change so I can have a boyfriend, or do I keep storming? And the answer was keep storming. And then when you're really storming with conviction, suddenly it like pans out, like it weeds out exactly what you need. You find just the brave ones. And it's like, perfect, all right. All the boyfriends I had were just perfect for me. And not that there were many of them, but.
Post-college, Cindy coached ski racing and met the man who would become her husband, Bruce Lingelbach.
Yeah, we do have a different sense of humor. And to be honest, I've always appreciated Cindy's outrageousness.
In 2002, she and Bruce made a huge life change.
And they came down and, we'd like to buy the inn. Oh, I cried. So it was nice.
The learning curve was steep. Managing an inn, cooking for up to 70 people at a time.
Just curious how many cloves you put in there.
I put the whole bowl there.
Whole bowl?
Cleaning and taking care of their now 3 little ones in the tiny quarters off the kitchen
So what's going on with that?
37 people.
was, in a word,
Nuts. We had a 9-month-old, like a 2.5-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old. A joke. Bruce had Coulter in his backpack, Windex, the phone on his hip, rags, like toilet brush. That was like running around frantically trying to pull this. We did all the housework, and I'm the accountant, and I'm not that skilled, but slightly more skilled than Bruce. But I have this person who comes and just looks at me like I'm like, you have a graduate degree? Yeah. What's up? You're a little slow on the draw there, girl. And I am. I'm like deer in the headlights behind QuickBooks. But it's such an adventure.
all advertising is word of mouth. And just because you want to stay there doesn't mean you'll get a bed.
You have to either have been here or know someone who's been here. And so sometimes people call and they don't know. And I said, well, let me tell you, we're a different kind of place. We've got shared bathrooms, no phones in the room, no TVs. It's a little bit funky, a little bit campy. And usually people are like, okay, I gotcha. And I'm like, let me give you a list of other places. Some people fight through it and they make it through my filters. One woman, she makes it through my filters. She's like, okay, my daughter played ultimate frisbee in college. That was her, like, can I come look at the inn? I'm like, okay, that gives me a little, I'll let you come look.
People really do have a great experience here. And that's partly, we help create that atmosphere. And so that is rewarding. But there's a lot of just grinding around. And plus it's an old building and it's hard to keep it up.
The downside is financially gripped at all times.
And that means cleaning the inn themselves,
Handy little flaps to keep things from splashing.
including the 11 toilets.
Even though cleaning toilets is the least glamorous part of anyone's life, you are by yourself. It is a tangible goal. I like the toilet cleaning. And a bed too, like I conquer the bed. People have these fantasies, these people, they're like, oh, I've always wanted to be an innkeeper. It's always, but I'm like, come and do a little workshop with me. Come on around, we'll do a little scrubbing, do a little cooking, a little planning, dealing with the leaky pipes and the furnace breaks. Like, I feel like I could host workshops for wannabe innkeepers and I could take them down hard. Colt, do you want to play a little football?
The upside is the lifestyle.
No? How about Daddy?
Lots of time outdoors
Look at all those frog eggs.
and lots of family time.
Even though like life's crazy inside and we come outside and it is joy.
And for Bruce and Cindy, family is what it's all about.
So he goes to his meeting, comes out at 6, car's gone. He's like, oh, one of my friends pulled a trick on me. So he waits 15 minutes for someone to pop out. Finally he's like, okay, it's not a trick.
Cindy's storytelling impulse is like a valve you can't turn off.
So he goes to the phone booth. Cindy, did you take the car? I'm like, I have 3 children. I'm trying to feed them dinner. I don't have time to come get the car and pull a trick on you. Like I'm sort of bitchy.
She finally decides to take her friend's advice.
I'm not even taking it as like a blow. I'm like, the car's stolen? Yeah, whatever, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll work the van. Like, I'm not even like taking it on, because I can't. I have no room, hard drives maxed.
The first step toward bringing her anecdotes to the stage is to try out her material on a wider audience.
I mean, I had no idea, to be honest with you, that she was going to do anything like this. I mean, it wasn't something that was talked about for years, and it just, all of a sudden, she was doing it at the inn. I was over here, I didn't even know. She was having groups of people in to test it out.
And Officer Bates is just like, this family, get out of my office. He just wanted me done. So that's that story. I have to find a way to get that in there. Thank you.
The reaction is so positive, Cindy decides to go for it, creating a one-woman show.
I think the key thing is getting them on the phone.
You know, I had sent my stuff for the listings and it never got in.
Emails get lost.
These women are the core of Cindy's volunteer crew.
WBO is KISS 108, The Rivers 92.4, WTKK.
They are the heart of the grassroots effort to get the word out about the show.
Once they hear about her show, it's almost as if they want to help us figure out how to get her name out there.
It is 5 a.m.
All right, that's one I gotta write down.
Cindy and her writer friend, Edie Tease Morgan, run through the hills of Etna, New Hampshire.
The stolen car. What things stand out for you is the parts that...
A few times a week, these early morning jogs give Cindy uninterrupted time to work on the show.
Okay, that's a good element there. All right. See, I wouldn't have thought of that. The element of story.
It comes together quickly. The night of the first big show at the Lebanon Opera House, people are scalping tickets for the sold-out event.
It's great seeing so many friends out here in the audience.
Bruce introduces Cindy, emphasizing that all the stories are in fact true.
I was flattered when Cindy asked me to introduce her, although a little bit conflicted because someone had offered me $22.50 for my ticket. So here I am. But people like to know, what's it like being married to Cindy Pierce? And I said, well, it's interesting. It's never a dull moment. She told me a long time ago, when we were first dating, she said, to go out with me, you've got to be bold. Guys want to change me, it's not happening. You've got to be bold. All right, well, I can be bold. Okay. Well, little did I know, in a few years down the line, I'd be standing here in front of 800 people introducing her.
And I think that's what men feel like, could she really have a husband? What kind of a husband would put up with this? So I think that they can see him, they get that he has a sense of humor, they see that he's sort of giving me the permission slip.
She's a magnet for incidents, she's a magnet for more and more humor. By being there, I can sort of help round out the picture and get that point across. We're just the average family, innkeepers. And it's the stories that pop up, and that's what they are. So, without any further ado, let's bring out this Cindy Pierce.
Out of the gate, finding the doorbell is a hit. The hometown crowd loves Cindy's candor.
Both my parents, they're not really sex detail people. They were never into giving all the details. You know, my mom, of course, if you ask for the details, she'd give you lots of details. She was very open and comfortable talking about things. Never initiated those sex chats. So much that every few years I'd get the courage to ask one of those questions, you know. So I'd creep up to my mom and be like, okay, get my courage, lay the question out there. She would turn around, blowtorch me. She would give me every detail. So you're like...
She delves into sexuality, birth control, marriage, childbirth. It is graphic and risque.
And that kept me from coming back for a few more years.
But not raunchy. She doesn't preach, but emphasizes the importance of honest communication, and in doing so, recasts awkward moments into entertaining ones.
He had a code word. It was popo. sending you up for the bath, he'd say, now don't forget to clean your popo.
Cindy's mother and siblings are on board, but Cindy confesses she would never be doing this if her dad were alive. Reg passed away in 2003.
My father would have just been uneasy. Although his friends tell me he would have been proud because he was a maverick. He loved shaking it up. Like, even though he looked conventional, preppy guy, he always had a little twist. Like, he always had a funky little, like, rust-colored stretchy belt. He'd skip a loop. I remember he was going to a cocktail party once here. He hated cocktail parties. The reason he moved here is to not go. And 2 a year he would attend. He'd choose 2. So he's heading out the door, and he's got the gear. And he's like, being in this monkey suit, he called it. And he had missed a belt. I'm like, Dad, you missed a belt loop. You got to get your belt on right. He goes, ha! If anyone notices, be good for him. Out the door he goes.
After the show's debut in Lebanon, there's a lot of momentum. It's on to Burlington, Vermont, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Local media outlets are generous with publicity.
And I had this thing, after hanging out with boys so much, I was on a mission to stay a virgin until I felt mutual love. I was committed to that. I was like, I think I'm just going to wait before I get on this program here, right? Now, when you don't drink and you don't do drugs in college, your chances of staying a virgin go up like 100%. Certain people are offended by certain stories. Don't want to hear, birth. That freaks me out. Or that's weird about you and your early sex stuff. People have certain things that they don't like, but there's something in the show for everyone. Birth details were being slung around like there's no tomorrow. It's absolutely a miracle that I had 3 children of my own after what I heard,
It's hard to slow down something, when she's got so much passion for it, and it's something that's important, and people love it, and she loves doing it, and so not for me to say, we've got to do more innkeeping, and not to mention the upside of the show could really allow us to relax some things around here, pay for our hobby of innkeeping, so to speak.
It's nutty.
I totally live here.
An already full life is now overflowing.
Next show is next Friday night and Saturday night. Cole, can you stay close?
Taking on this new challenge, a one-woman show,
We'll see you later.
on top of her already busy schedule at the inn.
Let me give you buffet layout.
Her world can seem crazed.
All right, let's see. My life's coming up to me. Colton! Oh, you make me nervous. I need a little help. Okay.
That's better.
That's anorexia training camp right there.
The pace can be frenetic, but Cindy figures if she can do this on her own terms,
See you later.
it just may work. Weekly visits to the acupuncturist give Cindy some quiet moments to relax.
This point here is called yin tong, which means calm spirit. Calm spirit.
The ultimate goal.
And think about whether the show is a lark or the beginning of a serious new career.
I never asked for it.
I guess gave it to you.
As the show takes off, Bruce agrees to pick up more of the responsibilities.
He's making the lunches, he's going to gymnastics, he's going to sing-along, he's going to soccer practice, he's putting kids to bed, he's making all the meals. He's at home now hosting 125 people while I'm up here focused on one thing.
8-year-old Xander's reaction to his mom's newfound fame is, well, practical.
She got us a new vacuum cleaner just as show money, and also a new grill.
Thank you.
With 4 big shows under her belt, moneymakers at that, Cindy decides to take her act to the next level, Boston. She and Bruce close down the inn for a month so Cindy can focus on publicity. First stop, a comedy club.
It's the promotion part that is an anxiety-ridden time. Can I give you this? One-woman show tonight? Funny, good stuff.
Getting the word out for an unknown comic from New Hampshire is tough.
Finding the doorbell, a little bit naughty.
Ticket sales are slow.
It's about motherhood, it's about parenting. Come on, read about it. Check it out. Who's game? It's really hard to self-promote. Doing a one-woman show at Jimmy Tingle's. They have to get in their space and tell them, I'm funny, come see me. It's for men, for women, for young, for old. To who? Feels really bogus.
I hit quick one time. Yeah.
It's minutes before showtime. Cindy's pre-show routine is a combination of stretching and vocal exercises.
Scott Wilson. Scott Wilson, I see.
I told you she'd remember you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
I never feel nervous about getting on stage.
The lady of the hour, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cindy Pierce.
So when I walk out there, it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I was so fired up to be pregnant. I had energy, I felt powerful, I felt strong all the way through my pregnancy. Everything was going great until the baby was a week and a half overdue, 3 days before Christmas. So Bruce says, let's go shopping. Let's go Christmas shopping. So we decided to go Christmas shopping in the middle of the craziest, the mecca of Christmas madness. You just don't do that a week before Christmas, much less 3 days. But there we are, and then when we're ready to go, because we're irritated, we've got plaza fatigue, we want to get out, and we're heading out, we get caught in traffic. And we're inching along. I mean, just going so slowly, and I've got to pee. But Bruce, he's being friendly. Mr. Christmas here. Yeah, like letting everybody in. So I'm just sitting there toughing it out. And then Bruce starts to get irritated too. Mr. Christmas shutting down now. Now he sort of gets the hunch. He's got the look everyone's got. Everyone's pissed now. So he's like butted up against the car in front of him. And then some people are darting in anyway, like fearlessly darting in. They just go for it. They don't even look at you. And he's like, argh! So then he's really up against the car. He's like, no one else is getting in front of me. Sure enough. Out of the Burger King parking lot comes this little red Talon. And in it are 2 teenage boys. So big man's behind the wheel, and he's not even looking. He's just coming right up. He's coming right up. Fearless incher. He's inching right in. Just going for it, right? I'm so mad. I look over, and he doesn't look our way. He's just going for it. So I put out my psychic vibe thing. I do this thing where I like, look this way. Look this way. And he looks, right? He looks over at me. And I give him a, He gives me, I say to Bruce, I'm getting out. Bruce, no, Pinsy, don't get out. Oh, I'm getting out. Click, go boom. Big pregnant lady out on the pavement. All eyes are on me. I'm exuding power at this point. Nothing's stopping me, nothing can. I'm like a tidal wave. Move across there. Now, Mr. Big Man in the Talon, he's like, oh. Here she comes. Pile right up next to him at his window, and I give him a tap. Shrinky dink man, he's just like, ooh, and I give him a louder tap. Finally, down comes the window. I say, now listen, we've been letting people in front of us for a while, and I'm really sick of it, because the traffic is just too much for me. And if you'll notice, I am a week and a half overdue pregnant, and I've got like a racehorse. He says, it's all you. It's all you. And I turn around. Get myself back in the car. Now, Bruce, the big, proud husband. That's my baby. Oh. And on we went. So we're going to take a little intermission right now, and I just want to thank you all and take a break.
She solid it.
My jaws are killing me.
During intermission, Cindy confers with her director, Kristen Graham.
You're just taking risks left and right, and you know what you're doing. You're throwing yourself off that precipice, but you're not worried because you know where you're going to land, and you're just going to go.
This is good to hear mid-flight.
Yes.
Because I'm feeling, am I too mellow?
Stay in the moment.
In this mode.
Stay in the
I'm
moment.
in my stories. I never look ahead.
Them.
So it all begins. So first I get on the birthing stool, right? And I'm on the birthing stool. Oh, I haven't had snacks in days, so I'm like shaking. Can't hold up, my big old pregnant mess. So they heave me up on the bed. Up on the bed we go. They tilt it. They bring it up. They give me the birthing bar, right? Love that birthing bar. It's like you're on it, heaving, pushing. Birthing bar. I feel like Mary Lou Retton, like, ready to stick it.
It was intelligent and funny, and I didn't see any hostility in it. I mean, it was very respectful to both men and women.
To find out that this is her first time here and she's only been in a few places in Vermont, New Hampshire, I was really, really impressed with what she's done. And yeah, I think she'll go far.
2 weeks later, it's the night of Cindy's big gig at the 600-seat Somerville Theater.
This is my green team.
A hefty financial investment for her because she has had to put down a chunk of money up front to rent out the theater.
One-woman show, comedy? I got tougher skin than I used to have. It used to make me sad and keep me from holding the cards out, but now I just keep going. Come see this show tonight. Should I hang any posters?
Yeah, I think probably not. Yeah. We've got an hour.
As showtime approaches, the theater is only half full. It's clear Cindy will lose money. She's come a long way, but this is not the turning point she had hoped for.
Thank you for getting it going and all the positives that happened along the way. Just the first 2 shows being profitable, lulling me into it. And yes. And then recently all the shows where I lost a lot of money, but beautiful, breaking even, and now
losing money.
Yeah, yes.
Bruce is still optimistic.
Truly, in my heart, I believe that, she will be on a bigger stage, and that's good.
The Somerville Theater performance goes well, but Cindy is disappointed with the attendance.
I was bummed, overwhelmed that I put so much energy and sacrificed so much in keeping to do these shows in Boston, thinking I'm financially discouraged. Couldn't get the word out. When the word's out, but couldn't get the word out. Like, not possible, no matter what I did.
In Cindy Pierce's own words, she's swallowed a large dose of humble pie. After more than a year plugging away, is it time to call it quits? Instead of walking away, Cindy digs in her heels. Or in this case, her trusty sneakers. Taking risks is in her blood. Instead of giving up, she's ratcheting up, making lots of trips to New York City to work with a professional director.
And I just was sloppy. I had a little prattle here and a little prattle there, and she just helped me tighten it so much and get the right words and really find what I wanted to say. Every show, every experience leads me to the next answer.
Let's get Cindy Pierce out here.
I'm living in the moment, and that's what the lesson I think in all of it is I have to just ride this out.
And she's fastening her seatbelt because things are gearing up.
It's Buddy Kirshner calling you with Kirshner Concerts.
A national producer and professional promoter are now on board.
Regarding Cindy Pierce.
There are 6 shows scheduled in New England and gigs in Los Angeles and New York City.
So how bad do I want it? I don't have enough time to want it so badly. Like, I don't want it badly enough to sacrifice my parenting or my relationship, and I don't want it badly enough to lose an important base. This is the heart of my extended family, my brothers and sisters, and that, I don't want to lose this. So if it ever threatens those things, it's not worth it. And if that can all jive, I'll go as far as it'll take me. So I'm just like on for the ride, don't know where I'm going. And it's pretty fun. Dun, 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 dun.
If, as Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage,
Here we go.
Cindy Pierce's starring role in her own life will always be enough. Her show may or may not go big time. But Cindy Pierce inspires as she is rewriting the script for how to reach for the stars while staying grounded. And chances are, she and her audience will have the last laugh.
Why do sharks live in salt water?
Why do sharks live in salt water? I give up.
Because pepper water makes them sneeze.
Pepper water makes them sneeze.
You are a goofy.
What's the biggest ant?
Now, Leanne had an answer. Giant?
Nope.
What?
Elephant.
Elephant. Mwah.
Take a girl's life, add a colorful family, a sprinkle of craziness, a large dollop of humor, and after 40 years, throw a new